rozhodčí a tu si vezmeme jeden druhý tým, hymny a boj. O všechno může velice rychle začít. Doufám, že se těšíte, protože tribuny se nám začínají plnit. Jestliže jste ještě před sledovaném, tak si pospěšte. Dneska tady bude určitě na co koukat.
Yeah. You ready? Hey. Let's go. Back. I'm at my prime. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa.
This is week 12 of the European Football Alliance. We are in the Czech Republic, where the Prague Lions are welcoming the team from Austria, the Raiders Tirol. Calling this game for you, my name is Jörg Opur-Puchlik, and our color commentator is Mr. Jan Weinreich. Jan, baby, would you have thought 3 weeks ago that these two teams are still in playoff contention?
I think I was expecting one team. I was really expecting the Prague Lions to be in contention after what they did the last weeks, but both teams having a chance and both teams coming in with a win and playing the way they performed and playing the way they played. I definitely did not expect that.
It's unbelievable if we're looking at the last two games that the last three games that the Prague Lions played. There was this 45-44 victory in Tirol in Austria against the Prague Lions, the opponent of today. Then they had a bye week, then they had a win in overtime against the Paris Musketeers, and then they lost pretty badly against the Munich Ravens. But these two victories sum up to a 2-6 record for the Prague Lions. If we look at the Raiders Tirol, they really impressed last week after Steven Krajewski, their starting quarterback, got injured. They brought in Kenyatta Allen from their Austrian Swaco Raiders team that plays in the AFL in the Austrian League. And Kenyatta Allen, what a game did he have against the Frankfurt Galaxy. 31 passes, 30 of them complete, over 400 yards passing. He really impressed. Do you think he can impress the Prague Lions as well?
I don't think he can play as well as he did last time, just because it's so damn hard. I mean, this guy barely threw an interception, meaning barely. I think there was one incompletion. I think he went 30 for 31. So the whole passing operation from everybody, the timing, his reads, the receivers, the offensive line blocking, everything was going so well for them. They basically had the best game of the season offensively. And I believe today will be a bit worse. I think we will see at least 2 incompletions. Not hoping for it, but I believe it will be a bit less impressive. But again, man, you can clearly see this guy has been around in Europe for many years. He's been with many organizations. He's been with the Raiders Tirol, knows the organization, knows the players, knows the playbook, just came out balling, and I'm really looking forward for him balling out today, because I believe there will be many opportunities for this offense to score and fight holes in the Prague Lions defense.
As the Raiders Tirol are hitting the field, if one listened to the head coach of the Raiders Tirol, of Shuan Fatah, after the match against the Frankfurt Galaxy, he said the strength of the offense of the Raiders Tirol was simply that they had to drastically simplify the playbook, because Kenyatta Allen came in a couple of days only before the matchup with the Frankfurt Galaxy. Is that probably one thing that a lot of coaches do wrong, that it's too complicated for the players, that they have to simplify everything and simply let those guys play ball?
No, I don't think so. I think knowing your players is a big part of it, but I think in knowing your players, you always have to maximize what's in the playbook. So not more, less isn't more. Less is always less, and more is always more. But you got to know if you put more on the shoulders of your players, if they can execute. It doesn't make any sense to let a, let's say, slow tight end run a go route all day. You got to know the skill set of your players, and you got to know what to execute. But whatever they can execute, you got to maximize all those abilities. So maybe that's kind of what they did. Maybe they narrowed it down to the skills of their players, minimizing themselves, but that maximized their whole playbook and maximized their whole outcome.
As the teams are getting ready for the national anthems, naturally the national anthem of the Czech Republic and Austria, we have to say that the home team, the Prague Lions, they have one big roster change, because their top wideout and their top weapon on offense, Mr. Willie Patterson, is injured, broke his collarbone. He actually posted the x-rays via social media as well. So he is out, and they already brought in somebody who has to step in for Willie P, and this will be Keishan Lisane Sr. He played for NC State and really performed there, one has to say, as we see the Prague Lions entering the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, another tough break. This team has been going through so much, like coaches leaving, getting new players in, like roster changes. Now Willie Pedersen, their best offensive skill player, is being out. But at the end of the day, this is what this team has been about the entire season, just being so resilient, being adaptable, and just like working from the core of what this team is, because the core of every European team are the European players, the mentality they believe in, they thrive in, and this team just has been so good in adjusting and getting new players in and just being competitive day by day and game by game.
So the Prague Lions fans are ready for this matchup. And this is the first of two remaining matchups each team has for the Prague Lions. They have the probably all-deciding matchup against the Frankfurt Galaxy in the last game of the regular season. And for the Raiders Tirol, they have their last matchup with the struggling Paris Musketeers. One has to say, in the last couple of weeks, I think the team that has the biggest struggles next to the Frankfurt Galaxy is the Paris Musketeers, as the Prague Lions are entering the field. James Brooks is the head coach of the Prague Lions team. Used to be a defensive coordinator for this franchise, and then last offseason took over as head coach for the Prague Lions.
Yeah, and this guy is a very special story, and I think you can feel it. He knows the locker room inside out because he's been part of locker rooms like this over the last years in Europe. So he knows both perspectives. He knows the perspective of being an American coming to Europe. He knows the perspective of European players because he's been here for a decade. And then he's, of course, a passionate coach who just thrives on building a team, building a great mentality, building great relationships with his players. And I think that's a big reason why this team has been so resilient and just so tough over this entire season.
This is definitely a crew every head coach would love to have. They're all fighting for each other. Everybody has the same goal. Nobody is looking for his own statistics. They're all working together to get the Prague Lions into the postseason. Very impressive what this team showed, especially in that overtime victory against the Paris Musketeers.
And that was one hell of a game. And I remember I was here with Valentin, who was part of the Round 2 EFA show, and we both had our girlfriends here, and we just tuned in end of the third quarter, and we were just telling, hey, we just want to check the score. Just let me check the score because we're here to play card games. And I'm telling you, man, it was an hour and a half with just me and him just looking at the screen and just trying not to
nobody played cards, right?
No, nobody played cards. And we were screaming like, Billy, the right receiver, like, you, holy moly, you're playing great. And this game was so exciting. So it was a true eye-catcher, true blockbuster game, which got the Prague Lions season going.
With the number 12 wide receiver, Matthias Billy, being the impressive player, and we hear the national anthems, Austria. the two national anthems of the Austria and the Czech Republic. And boy, oh boy, am I excited. This is playoff football in a way, because if you lose, season is over, no chance for the postseason anymore. And this is the new quarterback of the Raiders Tirol, Kenyatta Allen. And we see the completion rate of 96.8. Did you ever have a completion rate of 96.8, Jan?
I can't recall any game where I was maybe close to 85 once when I played youth football, but I never really got close to those numbers. So that's a special thing. I've been in a similar situation as Alan when I played for Stuttgart on like a short week, and I just had a short week of practice, and that was going pretty smooth as well for us, but not as close and not as great as he performed last week.
I can still remember when you stepped in for Stuttgart. That was a pretty impressive performance. But today, Jan Weinreich is our color commentator as we look at the stats of Jalen Henderson, the quarterback of the Prague Lions. Definitely a dual threat weapon, but he has to adjust to a new wide receiver, because him and Willie P, they were this dynamic duo of the offense of the Prague Lions. And now there is Keishon Lissane Sr. that came in during the week. And for quarterback Jalen Henderson, that means he had to put up some chemistry between the new wideout and himself. And we see Willie P is heading as a team captain into the middle. Still his arm broken, collarbone, as I said before. So he will not be playing, but he's still with the team, coaching the wide receivers.
Gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to today's game. Welcome to the coin toss. This is the coin we use for the coin toss. The size is heads, the size is tails. Heads, tails. Raiders, you are the visiting team. Calling tails. Here we go. It is tails. Raiders, you win a coin toss. You defer. That means you want to receive. Which way do you want to kick? This way. Prague will receive the opening kickoff. Gentlemen, please shake hands. Have a good game.
So first little victory. The Raiders Tirol won the coin toss, deferred to the second half, and the Prague Lions are getting the ball first. One thing I'll never understand, Jan, maybe you can help me. If the Raiders Tirol defer, why is the Whitehead asking the Prague Lions if they want to receive? Because, I mean, somebody has to receive the ball.
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe it's a polite thing. I know that once it happened in a game, I wasn't part of it, where the team was not listening correctly, and they basically said that they deferred the ball, and they deferred the second half thing. So they were deferring that they want to have the ball in the second half, so they kicked off twice. That's technically possible from what I've heard, and the refs will not stop you from doing so, which then followed that you just gave an extra possession to the opposing team. So, football, as I always call it, the simplest game in the world. The simplest rule setting in the world, the simplest game in the world.
And simple are simply the tasks for both teams. Losing forbidden. The Raiders Tirol playing in silver, white and black, as it's supposed to be for a Raiders team. They will have the kickoff, and the red and white Prague Lions will receive. Serve everything goes the way it's planned. We will see Jalen Henderson and the offense of the Prague Lions first on the field. Kenai Jr., number 4. The safety of the Prague Lions is getting ready to return the kick. Whitehead is Stefan Thunberg, so he will be the one telling us about the potential penalties that his officiating crew has seen. Jalen Henderson warming up. Next to him we see with the number 3, the new whiteout of the Prague Lions, Keon Lissain Sr. Well, the officials are waiting a little bit. Kickoff time is supposed to be 1 o'clock. And off we go. Jonathan Loria, the kicker of the Raiders Tirol with the kickoff. Ken Hike Jr. is taking the ball. He's got a gap, and that's a more than decent return up to the 44-yard line.
And that's exactly how you want to start out this game. You know, if you receive the ball, and if you have to receive the ball, you want to come out swinging with an explosive play. This time, Ken Hike Jr. finds a hole in the middle of the defending team, of the kicking team, and gets his Prague Lions in perfect field position.
So the first drive of the Prague Lions quarterback listed Jalen Henderson, as we see Ken Hike Jr. looking for some shade at the sideline. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. It is. Quick pass to the outside. First connection between Jalen Henderson and Keon Lissain Sr.
Yeah, and that's how you want to start out with your new receiver. You want to give him the trust. You want to get him into the game with the easy pitch and catch. You know, show what he can do with his fresh legs, gets the ball, and get some easy yardage.
Yeah, get some touches, build up your confidence. Hand off, run game. And this is Adam Zhuzelka, the top running back of the Prague Lions. Already 81 rushes for 321 yards and 2 TDs in this season.
Good job by the Raiders Tirol defense flowing towards that play. We had some penetration, I think in the B gap from an interior defensive lineman that pushed the running back out, the defense end kept it contained to force the 3rd and 5.
Jalen Henderson, empty backfield from the shotgun. Trips to the left of the offense. And Henderson goes over the middle trying to connect with Lissain Sr., but incomplete.
And he was forcing that ball into a tight window. Still a good spot by Jalen Henderson. You can see here into tight coverage, but still hits the hands of his right receiver. Tough catch to make here. Not putting any shade on Lissain Sr. because it was pretty tight coverage, forcing that incompletion here. And the Prague Lions start with a 3 and out.
So the punting unit is out. Punt is off. Good punt. Goes out of bounds at the approximately 14-yard line. So still 0-0. We saw one drive of the Prague Lions, and now Mr. Perfect, I think we can call him, from what he showed in Frankfurt, Kenyatta Allen. I have to admit, Jan, when I saw him in his career before on European level, he was with the Leipzig Kings. He had a short stint with the Stuttgart Surge. Kenyatta Allen never really impressed me. He is a good, solid quarterback, but never really impressed me. I was like not believing what I saw in this matchup against the Frankfurt Galaxy. And now Kenyatta Allen from the shotgun. Raiders start with a run play, and that's a very effective run. First down right away for number 26, Tim Tonko.
Good job here, Allen, getting to the line of scrimmage, checking the play before, and then the Raiders get into a counter play where they just then create some space in the middle. Tonko reads it perfectly, moves his legs, and with the first play, the Raiders will come out with the first down.
New set of downs for the Raiders. Kenyatta Allen to pass. And this is almost picked up by Ken Hike Jr. Pass was intended for Aaron Jackson.
Good job here by Ken Hike Jr. I think the ball was a little underthrown, a little to the back shoulder of Aaron Jackson. I think we're going to see that in the replay here. So Allen, here you see, hesitates a bit after the cut. So it's not really in stride for Aaron Jackson, who then does a pretty good job of playing defense. You could see that straight away that Hike was jumping for the ball, and Jackson did a great job of batting those hands down. Get 2 seconds down.
2nd and 10 for the Raiders. Run play. Again, the carrier is Tim Tonko, number 26. Tim Tonko already 33 rushes for 165 yards and 6 touchdowns, plus 11 receptions for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. So the running back room of the Raiders Tirol is really suited with some class. Third and 7 for the Raiders at their own 27-yard line. Kenyatta Allen with the pass. That's complete. New first down. And he finds Toni Rabensteiner, the Italian wideout for the Raiders Tirol.
I really gotta say, this is what Allen is best in. He's very good in identifying defenses and coverages, and then his anticipation throws are off the charts. Here again, just finding the seam against the cover 3 right after his receiver gets into the free space, right like when he's when he's still covered. He identifies the free space, throws into it, which then makes it look very easy and very open, but it's a tough throw and takes some great anticipation. So good job by Allen here.
Kenyatta Allen from the shotgun. Twins to the left, but the handoff. Another run play. This time it's Lucas Hasselwanta, number 2 of the 3-headed monster of the Raiders Tirol running game.
Yeah, I like the mix the Raiders Tirol are giving us here. The base run plays the inside zone with the offside running back. But then, they already showed us the counter. They showed us that they want to come out with the quick passing games, exposing the holes the Prague Lions give them on defense. And you can just expect them to take a shot early here in this game.
And Kenyatta Allen takes off, goes by himself. Didn't find anything, but I think that was a designated quarterback play, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it was a quick play, a quick pass designed. But when you're an empty, you always know as a quarterback, once the play isn't there, especially when it's a quick pass, you become the running back or you become the check down over the middle if nobody's there. And he did that perfectly. He looked to the right side. Everybody was flown over there. There wasn't a quick answer for him to throw the ball, so he just took off running himself, and then he sort of had to remove it from sliding.
Oh, Kenyatta Allen in trouble. The first quarterback sack for the Prague Lions, and this is number 8, which is young Chris.
Good job by Chris here, staying on the back end of this play. I don't particularly like the fake of Allen here. I think you can play that out a little better. You can act a little better here. I know he was going to try to become a runner himself and break the edge, but Chris doing a great job here. Not only seeing the play, but also making a tackle in the open field.
Young Chris, number 8. One of the excellent homegrowns in the Czech team. Cornerback. And there we should have the first timeout. Stefan Thunberg.
Before the play clock expired, timeout, Raiders. It's their first team timeout.
So first timeout taken by the Raiders within their opening drive. So they have definitely seen something that they did not like about the Prague Lions defense.
Yeah, know me. I don't particularly like that in the first drive taking a timeout, especially when you have the advantage, and you will have the advantage getting the ball back in the second half. it doesn't give you the flexibility of stopping the clock at the end of the half. I know it's just a timeout, it's just 2 or 3% of the game, but you just got to be better in your first drive in executing your plays and your offensive operation.
And the Raiders come out, empty backfield, trips to the right side of the offense. Kenyatta Allen to pass. Lot of pressure, trying to buy some time. Now he gets rid of the ball, but incomplete. Tim Tonko couldn't hold on to the ball.
Interesting play call here by the Prague Lions. Repeatedly not sending pressure and only rushing 3 players. So they had 8 players in coverage, which is a pretty solid number to cover the entire field. The reason why you do it is first, you believe in the edge defenders of creating pressure just as they did here. And also, Allen is somewhat of a mobile quarterback, but he's not the most mobile quarterback. He's not Henderson, so you feel comfortable of him staying back in the pocket, and when everybody's covered and once he starts moving, he's not as big of a threat to you as other quarterbacks, and they did a great job here of then, just getting towards you and creating pressure.
Third in the school bus, 3rd and 21, and Kenyatta Allen goes deep, and he finds his wide receiver with the number 4, Felix Kanta.
I think that's Marco Schneider. It's got to be Marco Schneider.
Oh, yeah, it's Marco Schneider. I'm sorry. Wrong number.
One of my favorite players in all of Europe. Runs a wheel route here. Just beats the safety to the sideline. You can see it's like a foot race. And then Allen just puts a lot of trust in there, releases that ball early. And it's just a perfect spot, right where only your receiver can get it. And then Schneider does an amazing job of getting his feet in bounds with the toe drag swag, putting his Raiders Tirol in position to score. So again, great anticipation for a great rhythm and timing between those two, and just a better catch by Marco Schneider as well.
So the Raiders Tirol are turning a 3rd and 21 into a 1st and goal. One already has to say an impressive drive of the guests from Austria here at Bohemian Stadium in Prague, and the Prague Lions are in a timeout.
Yeah, what a turn of events, Opu. I mean, they took the sack. They had a long down. They have to take the timeout after that, so that's kind of like 2 negatives in a row. They then have the incompletion where Allen was scrambling around, almost sacked, to then throw the big pass, and you can just see the trust he has in his receivers. Rightfully so. We just saw Marco Schneider making that big play, and it just shows you the quality the Raiders Tirol have on the offensive side. Not only having Jackson as a deep threat right receiver, but also receivers like Hatzkoma or Schneider or other people out there who always have a threat down the field, always are a threat down the field.
I'm still impressed about that toe drag swag from Marco Schneider. That was really impressive. Absolutely. Now it's 1st and goal for the Raiders Tirol. Run play, and this is the first touchdown of this game. Lukas Hasselwanter gets the Austrian team in the lead. Touchdown by number 24.
Good, strong side run here by the Raiders Tirol, just coming out and running one of my old head coach's favorite play. Just a quick little inside zone. Everybody kind of protects their gap, and then if you just dominate on the line of scrimmage, run back just finds the hole. And the Raiders Tirol not only force the 3 and out, they also come out and score.
Jonathan Loria lines up for the PAT, and he splits it in half. 7-0, the lead for the Raiders Tirol. Jan, a really impressive opening drive of the Raiders Tirol. Also, although they had some trouble, some quarterback sacks, some little timing problems with the play clock, had to take a timeout. But this drive was really impressive.
Very impressive, but also, I mean, the Raiders Tirol had the Prague Lions in the play and coverage they wanted to. You could clearly see that Al knew where to go with the football and that read right to Schneider. but you just got to protect the first down better than the Prague Lions did there. It's 3rd and 21. You're in the middle of the field. What you have to do in that situation is just keep the ball in front of you, just not get beat deep. You know, let the pressure beat the quarterback. Don't come up front, don't come up and try to make that play, because getting a 3rd and 21 converted on you in the first drive is just unacceptable from the defensive side. But coming again, just great execution, play design, throw and catch by Schneider and Allen.
Kenai Jr. downs the kickoff in the end zone.
Did not touch the ground or a player inside the field of play when it was down in the end zone. That is a major touchback. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line, as we heard of the Whitehead Stefan Thunberg. The second drive of Jalen Henderson and the Prague Lions offense. Run play for the Prague Lions. And this is Adam Zhuzelka, and he is still running. This guy is really impressive. He simply refuses to go down.
Yeah, underneath center play, and they just come out here with a quick little duo play. So 2 double teams inside. Zhuzelka is patient enough to read it out, hits the gap quickly. And you know, I like how explosive he is, but also like how he always keeps his legs moving, which makes it very, very hard for people to get him down to the ground. And Prague Lions again with 1 player in great field position.
Oh, nice completion by Jalen Henderson, finding his wide receiver, Davi Luxan.
Going from one extreme to another. First they come out in a heavier personnel under the center. Next play they come out in empty formation, forcing the Raiders Tirol into zone coverage, which then creates holes within the defense. Henderson reads that out perfectly and finds his receiver, Luxan, right behind the linebackers in the intermediate area. And the Prague Lions are in contention for a touchdown.
And one has to say, Jalen Henderson squeezed that thing into a small window. Almost got deflected his pass.
Full start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Nothing to add. I think we've all seen on the left side of the offense the false start. So it's 1st and 15 for the Prague Lions at the 24-yard line of the Raiders Tirol. Oh, little problems juggling the ball there. Jalen Henderson, but gets the ball off. But this play only gets them back to the line of scrimmage.
And there's no worse situation for a wobbled snap when you are when you try to play a screen. So when the offensive line just lets everybody go through and tries to get to the second level, and you want to just get that ball off quick because you have people running at you free, and you just take that extra time you don't have. Henderson does a great job of securing that pass, knowing what situation he's in, and then still throws a completion.
2nd and 15, the St. Senior on motion, but Jalen Henderson keeps the ball.
And very, very unfortunate that we are in a 3rd and 10 because this drive started out so well, but it goes so quick in this game open. That's why every play counts. 1 incompletion, 1 flag, and you find yourself in a 3rd and long, which makes it very tough to score.
Oh, got corrected. 3rd and 9. 3rd and 10. Always changing. The pass into the end zone. And this is caught, although the cameras did not catch it, but Lisane Sr. obviously caught it. His first touchdown in the European Football Alliance. The freshly signed wide receiver from NC State, Keyshawn Lisane Sr. with the touchdown for the Prague Lions.
Let's see what was going on here. Henderson doing a great job, avoiding pressure, stepping up to the pocket, taking a big hit, and then throwing an absolute dime. Perfect pass to the corner of the end zone. You can throw that ball a bit different. You can throw it differently, but you can't throw it any better than this. Lisane gets up into tight coverage, gets his feet down. What a play on 3rd and 10 right before the end zone for the Prague Lions to tie up this game. Actually, they don't.
They don't because the extra point is not good. Their place kicker, Marek Hubon, one of those stars in this overtime victory against the Paris Musketeers. But Lisane Jr., what a start into playing for his new team.
Yeah, but take a look at that pass from Henderson again. This is some special stuff. Having pressure from the edge, stepping up into the pocket, always keep your eyes down the field, to then have interior pressure, and then, as I said, that's just a perfect ball placement right there to your new receiver. That's a big play, man. That's MVP stuff. That's MVP stuff by Henderson right there, having his team on his back again.
So everybody listening to our commentary already noticed Jan Weinreich is a fan of Mr. Jalen Henderson.
Absolutely.
Or especially of this pass that he just presented to us.
Yeah. How can't you? How can't you? I mean, watching him play, being able to comment on so many games he had this year, but his development and the way he puts everybody around him in good positions, and when nobody is in position, he's just such a great athlete. I'm a big fan of him, and I think he made a big step this year as an import quarterback, as an American quarterback.
But still, the visitors from Austria are in the lead, 7-6 the score in favor of the Raiders Tirol that are on the return now. But pretty good kickoff coverage by the Prague Lions. Angelo Gross, the kickoff returner and cornerback for the Tirol Raiders. But Kenyatta Allen is going to take over with his offense again. First and 10 at the 30. Quick pass to the outside. But good defense by the Prague Lions.
Yeah, good play by everybody. Let's call it an equal, a zero play. Prague Lions got the ball where they wanted it to. The Raiders got the ball where they wanted it to. Prague Lions defended it well. Sometimes you just try to stretch teams out with plays like that. You want to get a reaction from the defense to then set up something different. Like to see Allen checking a lot of those plays here today. You see he's in full control.
Lucas Hasselwanta, the running back, next to Kenyatta Allen. Allen on the drop back, throwing deep and incomplete, but he almost was able to get that thing into his hands. Aaron Jackson, not an easy catch, definitely.
Yeah, and as I said, man, Allen is such a control. Gets the Prague Lions into cover 2, and then throws a perfect pass to Jackson's again, just trusting his receiver. Throws it into that hole, into the cover 2, reads it out perfectly. And just Aaron Jackson, unfortunate, tough catch. Catching a ball in stride, in contention, can't come down with it. So we have to 3rd and 9.
If you ask the Raiders number 1, he would definitely say, I should have caught that one. Kenyatta Allen keeps the ball and runs for a new set of downs for the Raiders Tirol.
I think he fumbled that at the end, didn't he? I mean, he wasn't down, there was contact. I mean, I saw them blowing the whistle, but if I'm the Prague Lions, I'm thinking about throwing a flag. Let's take a look at the replay. So, again, he takes a drop back, looks at the defense, they give him a hole, he finds a crease through the middle, and look at the ball. Is it out? Oh, no, he had it until the end. Okay, he had it until the end.
Jan Weinreich is seeing fumbles where there are no. Oh, nice play by Lukas Hasselwanter. Is he going all the way? Yes, he is. Touchdown for the Raiders Tirol, Lukas Hasselwanter.
Just a quick pitch and catch, but what happened to the Raiders Tirol? Where was this offense 6 weeks ago? I mean, they scored with Allen as a quarterback within 5 quarters of football. They scored over 70 points now. I mean, he just goes out there, throws a quick screen, gets a great block by his offensive lineman. That's enough for him to break the tackle, but you can't tackle like that. That's just poor tackling. Good job by the running back, staying in bounds, keeping his legs moving, but you can't tackle like that. There's 2 people, wrap him up, get your arms around him, slow him down. You can't just both trying to make a hit stick him, trying to push him around. That's just bad defense play right there on the end of the Prague Lions.
Loria puts it through the uprights. 14-6 the lead for the Raiders Tirol, and absolutely go with you, Jan. They played hide and seek with us, what their offensive performance is concerning. Really nice play calling, and then Lukas Hasselwanter is showing what he is capable of, and as you said, pretty poor tackling attempts by the Prague Lions here.
Yeah, you can't tackle like that. I mean, Joshua Pushnanski is doing a great job of still trying to catch him, but his teammates before it. I mean, the first tackle, yeah, you got pushed by a lineman before. I think you're doing a great job of forcing that play back inside. But whoever was trying to tackle thereafter, you got to wrap him up. Like, you got to slow him down. You can't just both trying to jump in and push him. You got to get your arms around him, get to the hips, slow him down really, and then wait for anybody else to come and make the gang tackle. So good play by the Raiders Tirol, good play design, getting your running back into the open field. But this play should never have been a 30 or 40-yard touchdown.
3:49 on the clock in the opening quarter. Here in Prague, kickoff. Ken Hike Jr. on the return. But again, a good, solid coverage, kickoff coverage by the Raiders Tirol.
Last 3 drives, all have been touchdowns. So I'm looking forward what we're going to see here today in the next drive.
Probably a touchdown.
Maybe. Hopefully so.
He will definitely try his best. Jalen Henderson, 13 passing touchdowns. For him, a little low. Only 3 rushing touchdowns this season so far. Quick pass to the outside. Finds his number 7, Radim Kalus. And that's a new set of downs for the Prague Lions.
Just a little quick release, quick access, I want to call it. Pitch to the sideline, nobody's there. Then the Raiders will get to the tackle to narrow down the yardage gain. But it's still a new first down for the Lions, who've been moving the ball really, really well.
Tight formation for the Prague Lions. Henderson directly under center, the handoff. Running back number 23. That's Paul Breuer. Former player for the NFL Academy in London. Joined the Prague Lions 2 weeks ago, I think. 2 or 3 weeks ago. Paul Breuer. So it's not only Adam Zhuzelka who has to carry the workload in the run game. Henderson with the pass to the outside, but that was definitely overthrown. There was a miscommunication. Hudlička has some topics to discuss there.
Yeah, he wants that flag. I think he is accusing his opponent of getting into his face mask, grabbing his face mask.
Third and 8 for the Prague Lions. Henderson goes deep. And there is the flag against Angelo Gross. There was a little bit too much of touching, jersey tugging.
Pass interference. Defense, number 9. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
No, it was Trey Rucker. I'm sorry, not Angelo Gross. Trey Rucker, naturally, the safety for the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah. Let me check again when you throw on the safety. Yeah, I disagree. That's perfect coverage. I think you can throw a flag on it. He's in perfect position. He's in front of the offensive player who's more running into him than the DB is forcing the contact. I would not have thrown that flag. I think the Prague Lions got lucky here.
Well, we had that topic before. Me being a former wide receiver, I'm saying always this was pass interference. But I agree. It was definitely, there was a little contact, but nothing serious. It was not really necessary to throw that flag. Again, Paul Breuer, the ball carrier for the Prague Lions.
Offside. Defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So with a little bit of help of the Raiders Tirol, the Prague Lions are moving the ball. Already at the 17-yard line. And Paul Breuer is getting blasted in the offensive backfield. Precious Ogbevone, one of the best defensive players in the whole league, without a doubt. Textbook tackling. Second and 7 for the Prague Lions. Deep pass from Jalen Henderson, direction end zone, incomplete, but there is another flag flying in. The Saint Senior was the intended target.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic, first down.
And the next PI call against the Raiders Tirol, and this time it is against number 21, Angelo Gross. And there we have to see he really grabbed the jersey and pulled Saint Jr. back. I think with that interference call, you go along, right? Well, at the moment we have technical difficulties. We cannot hear Jan Weinreich.
Yeah, I was agreeing with you on the call. I totally agree. This was a holding. You can see the jersey being dragged and being pulled, so it was a good call.
So the Prague Lions are knocking on the door. Ball is on the 2-yard line. 30 seconds before the end of the first quarter. Hand off to Paul Breuer. Paul Breuer looks for a gap, but does not find any. Good goal line defense by the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, and they're holding their ground at the moment at the goal line. You know me, I hate when people go back into shotgun when they're at the goal line and just try to like run powers and give the defense a chance to get into the backfield and snap the ball. Just takes too much time. Just run the quarterback sneak. The percentage and the possibilities of scoring are way higher on 3 quarterback sneak attempts to get it in there. Of course, the Lions always operate from a shotgun perspective. So let's see what we're going to see in the second quarter. But as you mentioned, man, we're probably going to see another touchdown.
The first quarter ended with the Raiders Tirol being in the lead 14-6 due to the fact that the Prague Lions missed their PAT after their touchdown.
Bulio, first down, left sideline, could go, got a block, got another block, splits the tackle, touchdown Nordic, Bulio to the house. Free. Fonz. He's popped it free. Fonz. Trackstar. Touchdown. Looks off one of his receivers and then pops it over to Tunga, who's got easy sailing. Touchdown, Nordic. Rifles over the middle, touchdown Nordic.
Those were the Week 10 highlights of the Nordic Storm. The Nordic Storm is playing at the moment at the PSD Bank Arena in Frankfurt against the Galaxy. And the Prague Lions are knocking on the door. 3rd and goal for the guys in the red jerseys. From the shotgun, Jalen Henderson is trying everything. But again, they're playing it from the shotgun, and that's easy to defend for the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, going to come back again. I understand the idea. I just hate it that if you even want to let your QB run, it's just not a smart idea to put him into shotgun 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The ball is snapped 5 yards behind. He then runs it in. It just gives everybody more time to execute. There's many one-on-ones that the offensive line can do. Just run the quarterback sneak. For God's sake, just run the QB sneak.
4th and goal, and the Prague Lions are going for it. Adam Zhuzelka has the ball, but he is stopped. But it's a touchdown. Adam Zhuzelka, touchdown for the Prague Lions. All this work and all this hard work of the Raiders Tirol defense did not pay out at the end. Touchdown for the Prague Lions.
And let's see that again. Opu. This time they roll out to the right just to set up that screen to the left to Zhuzelka. And I don't know. I really don't know. I think we got to see that again on the replay. If I'm the Raiders Tirol, I'm throwing that flag and I have that reviewed. I think scoring plays have been reviewed automatically. I think the white hat is taking a look here because I don't know if he was in. That was pretty short.
I was about to say
is under review
because scoring plays are always automatically reviewed, so you cannot throw a red flag as the head coach because it's a score and that is automatically reviewed. And now we have Stefan Kuenberg going to the sideline, taking a closer look whether Adam Zhuzelka touched the ground before he crossed the goal line. And this is going to be a tough decision. From this angle, you don't see where the ball is.
Nope, you need a different angle. I think this might... I mean, you gotta see if the leg or the knee was down.
Well, this angle shows a lot more, but it's not really in favor of the Prague Lions, I have to admit, because I think he pulled that ball to the front when his knee was already down.
We just heard it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, with microphone.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Jan, one has to say so far in the first quarter and the first couple seconds in the second quarter, the Prague Lions cannot complain about the officiating crew. Let's put it that way.
No, I think it was a tight call, but then at the end of the day it was still the right call. If there's no conclusive evidence of the knee being down and was so tight, and we can clearly see the ball being half a yard over the line, I think that's a good call. Not good call to not overrule it, to not overturn it, to play stand as it was. And for us to start out this day just as we expected, that it's going to be a shootout.
Mari Schuborn with the PAT, but that means the Raiders Tirol are still 1 point in the lead as we take a look at this Adam Żużelka touchdown for the Prague Lions.
Yeah, good job here of Żużelka, kind of just finding his way into the end zone. It wasn't really perfectly blocked. There was a guy in between him and the end zone, and then it's just mano a mano, man versus man. And then Żużelka takes his shoulders down and just gets enough for a touchdown.
Taking the helmet off, we just saw him, Adam Żużelka. He looks such a nice boy, but you don't want to be a defender if he has the ball in his hands. Furious runner, number 11 of the Prague Lions. Mari Schuborn with the kickoff. High deep kick. That will not be returned by Angelo Gross. So the ball should be placed at the 35-yard line.
I think both teams know right in this moment that this game will be decided by the both offensive sides. So it's going to be from the defensive side a one drive mentality, a turnover mentality. I mean, you still don't believe that they're going to score on every drive, but I think from how you game plan this, I think one turnover, two turnovers can decide the outcome of the game today, as both offenses probably score on all the drives they're on. Also, I'll definitely think about going for fourth downs all the time as well.
Most definitely. The Raiders Tirol are coming out with a run play, and this is number 25, Tobias Bonatti, the third of this three-headed monster when it comes to the run play for the offense of the Raiders Tirol.
Great counter play here again. I like how they set it up with the motion before, getting everybody to the right side, floating everybody over, and then the O-line does a great job. The pullers do a great job, and they run for another first down.
On their own 47, Kenyatta Allen with a condensed formation. Another run play. Again, it's Tobias Bonatti. Well, it's not a surprise what we're seeing here of the Raiders Tirol offense. They are a run-first offense. Although they have a whiteout like Aaron Jackson, Adrian Platzgummer, or Marco Schneider. Play action fake. Kenyatta Allen goes over the middle, incomplete. Marco Schneider could not bring that ball in.
Yeah, good fake. Like this time the entire defense was moving. Ball is thrown again a bit behind Marco Schneider. Hard for him to get it. You still want to catch that though, and you have both hands on it. It's way tougher than it looks. But with the good run on first down, very, very comfortable.
And normally if there is a European wide receiver where you would say he would definitely catch that ball, it's Marco Schneider, number 4 of the Raiders Tirol. From the shotgun, Kenyatta Allen, quick pass to the outside, and he finds Marco Schneider. He's still on his feet. Marco Schneider gets the ball up to the 10-yard line of the Prague Lions.
You see there, man, you drop one, and then you catch the next one, break a tackle, and go up the field. This time the Prague Lions send the blitz, so we have man-to-man coverage. Allen throws a perfect pass to Sullivan, and again, Prague Lions just can't make the tackle. Don't really use a wrap-up, just fly for the legs, basically like an ankle biter, and it's just not good enough. I think this situation has got to be aware of that nobody's going to help you, that if you don't make the tackle, it's going to become a big play. The defense has got to do a better job of making the tackle.
Kenyatta Allen from the shotgun. Hand off to his running back, and he gets up to the 4-yard line of the Prague Lions. Again, Tobias Bonatti, this is his drive so far. There wasn't that much of a gap that was open. He did that all with his legs. 2nd and 4 for Kenyatta Allen and the Raiders Tirol offense. Again, it's Tobias Bonatti, but there is no way into the end zone.
Good physical job by the defense. Similar than what the Raiders Tirol did, but my critique is the same. I mean, get under center, get multiple people to the line, run simple plays, outman the opponent instead of giving him a chance from the situations you're in to just outplay you in a point of view. Just way harder to run the ball from shotgun when everybody's upset. Again, they come up with a lot of personality, but just don't really know if they like it.
3rd and 3, Kenyatta Allen did not like what he saw.
Timeout, Raiders. It's a second team timeout.
Perfect weather to play ball in the Czech Republic, in the capital, in Prague. Again, tight formation. Probably a false start.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I mean, they've been lucky today a bit, but that's like the 3rd mental mistake. You know, they had to already take 2 timeouts. They already had 3-snap penalty. Now they have a false start on 3rd and 1, which is again, just unacceptable from an operation. Just make it way harder on yourself. But this far, they always save themselves with big plays from their quarterback or one of the receivers.
So it's 3rd and 8. Kenyatta Allen on the drop back, buying himself some time. Now he tries to run it himself, but only manages to get 1.5 yards.
And now I'm excited to see what we're gonna have. Allen wants a flag here, probably for unnecessary roughness. Didn't like how this whole play ended. Let's see if he has a case. So he drops back. They send many people into coverage. Goes to the left side to get some of that yardage back. Stiffs arm the D lineman. Yeah. And you know, I think that might be a little late, but I'm still fine with that play ending the way it did, because it's the same guy who was attempting the tackle. You never know where the sideline is, where people is going to break tackles. I understand Allen as well, but I'm good with the no call here as well.
Jonathan Loria, the place kicker of the Raiders Tirol. So far this season, he is 6 out of 8 from field goals. Longest was a 47-yarder, so that should be a little chip shot for him.
Delay of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So another mistake that you should not have, but should not be that much of a problem, these additional yards for Jonathan Loria. Ball is up. Ball is through. Did not hit the balcony of the buildings behind, so everything's fine. 3 more points for the Raiders Tirol that are leading this 17-13.
So they're up by more than a field goal. So the Prague Lions need to score touchdowns to take back the lead. I mean, even though we had only scores unless the first drive, I think it was pretty tough for both teams to score on. You know, we had third and longs, we had deep passes that were incompletions, and then a lot of the drives just got converted because of flags. So even though I think it's still going to be a shootout, I think it's not as easy for the offenses as the scoreboard might anticipate for us.
Well, the way this game started, it was not possible that it's going to go on like this, because that would be a final score of 99-98. So there had to be one of the defenses putting out a little power and stopping the opposing offense or holding them to a field goal. First little success for the Prague Lions defense, but they're still behind. 13-17 from the perspective of the Prague Lions. Deep kickoff. No return by Dakota Thomas, the U.S. defensive back, cornerback of the Prague Lions. As we see the sideline adjustments here, Prague's offense. And again, the drive for the Prague Lions starts at the 35-yard line. Jalen Henderson from the shotgun. Running the option to the outside, keeps the ball, has a couple yards.
You know, nice little QB run here. I mean, Henderson always dangerous with his legs. Just keeps the defense honest. You know, with Willie Patterson being out, you're just finding ways and creative ways to move the ball around, to not be, so the defense can't anticipate what's coming. So I like the play call on 1st and 10.
Hussein Senior, number 3, all the way down here to the left of the offense. Got a run play that did not really gain anything, maybe a yard. Again, Adam Zhuzelka, the running back for the Prague Lions.
Again, good little run play, like the play call. Didn't get much. Raiders Tirol defense keeping their ground. Playing pretty basic defense, but they still keep their ground in the run game with their heavy defense front. Before supporting long.
Trips to the left. Empty backfield with the Prague Lions. Hussein Senior passes complete, but not a first down. About 2 yards short of the first down.
Excited to see what they will do now. After those plays, the Raiders will be coming again. Minimizing yardage gained, being tight in coverage. But the Prague Lions decide to punt the ball. And I gotta be honest, I don't know if I agree with this decision. I think with the Raiders Tirol also getting the ball back in the second half, already being up front, this can turn into a 2 or 3 possession game really quickly. And I really don't know. I would have gone for that fourth down.
Well, they're at their 43-yard line. 2 yards were missing for a new set of downs. And I would say a couple years ago that would not have been a question whether you're punting or you're playing that thing. It would have definitely been a punt, but in the last couple of years in American football, in the NFL and in European football, it got more and more that people said, well, we should play 4 downs.
That's a flag. As clear as you can have one. He wasn't even going for a ball. He wasn't for a catch. But yeah, analytics and data have been taken over, and coaches make most of the decisions, or good coaches make their decisions based on the data given to them. The data clearly shows that usually when you're in the middle of the field, if you have a 4th and short, like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, going in from the 45 until the 40-yard line, you usually want to go for that, because the yardage gained from a punt, something like 20 or 30 yards, which isn't that much. You give the other offense an opportunity to score again, whereas if you have a first down on that 2 yards where the success rate is pretty high, you can't push that over 50, 60, 70%, depending on how well you execute. If you give Henderson the ball and just let him run, you have a pretty good chance of him getting those 2 yards. You keep on having a chance of scoring, which is a good thing. You also keep control of the football, or you then let's figure out what you're going to do in the next drive. You can still punt it away if it's a 4th and 12, 4th and 8, whatever. So I think you should have gone for that, and not only based on what I would have done, but I think also based on what the analytics would have given you.
Have you ever thought about going into coaching, Jan?
Yeah, but I don't quite find the time, but I'd love to coach.
Personal foul, kick catch interference, kicking team, 15 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Our referee would be an opportunity for Jan Weinreich, because he saw right away that this was a catch interference.
I think it was pretty easy to see, though.
So the penalty against the Prague Lions. James Brooks doesn't really like that. Naturally, no coach likes penalties against his team. So the Raiders Tirol start their drive at the 35-yard line. 7:35 still on the clock in the first half. 17-13 the lead for the Raiders Tirol. Kenyatta Allen goes deep, has a man open, and that is his number 6, which is Adrian Platzkummer.
Yeah, and they are very in sync. I like the play selection they have. They kind of set up the defense right where they wanted. Now with the play action pass coming out on 1st and 10, where they usually decided to run the ball, and then there's just a big hole over the middle. Allen again with a good throw. Platzkummer was pretty open though, getting his first catch of the day, and already they're at the 35-yard line.
And another run play with a good gain. Lucas Hasselwander, the ball carrier.
kind of proving my point why you should have gone for it, because expecting your defense to stop the offense and just like the good field position will help them is just an assumption you can't make in this game, or you can always make. Sometimes it's better to stay on the field with the offense trying to convert, because it just takes the opposing offense 2 plays to get 30 yards. So
this time a really good defensive work here by Borkovic, linebacker of the Prague Lions. Coming into this game, he already had 30 solo and 26 assists.
Yeah, pretty much unblocked right there in this situation. Just coming from the backside. I think he missed assignment there by the Raiders Tirol offensive line and blockers. And then he just does a great job of getting to the backfield and forcing that tackle fall off.
Trips to the right side of the offense. Kenyatta Allen from the shotgun. Lucas Hasselwanter next to him. Pass to the outside. That is complete again. It's Adrian Platzgummer.
Yeah, nice play here. I mean, again, they disguise a blitz, they come out, then in his own coverage again, but they can't fool Allen in this play. They play some kind of cover 2 on that side. He throws the ball into the hole. Platzgummer, the veteran representative, comes down with it, and the offense of the Raiders is
a new set of down, 1st and 10. Kenyatta Allen scanning the field, going deep direction. Lucas Hasselwanter, but incomplete.
Good pass again. I mean, Hasselwanter has covered there, but that's a really, really good pass into both hands. Again, play fake, he reads the defense, and then he just takes it backfield again, knowing he has the backside wheel. But that's the reason why players like that usually play right receiver, not running back, because it's very tough to make the catch, especially against a veteran like Joshua Kushnanski, who gets his hands in between the arms of Hasselwanter.
Run play for the Raiders Tirol, and Lucas Hasselwanter is carrying it up to the 9-yard line. Pass by Kenyatta Allen. And he finds Adrian Platzgummer. That, I guess, was not enough for new 1st down.
That's a bad spot. That's again, I don't know what he saw there, but if my eyes aren't lying, I mean, look where he came down with the ball. I mean, Allen, first of all, good job going through his reads, but where you see his elbow coming down, I think they gave it a yard short. I think we're going to have to flag for the challenge.
First of all, there's a timeout taken by the Prague Lions.
I don't know if I would have done that as the Lions, because if I'm the rest and I have time, I look at that spot again. I don't know if we can see it again in the replay, if anybody from the production team can hear me, but if we see it from the original shot again and where he gave the spot, I think Adrian was right at the 1st down, almost over it. I was pretty sure it was like a very, very tight call, and where the ref down to him was like a yard behind. So, I mean, if I'm Shu and Fatah, I'm going out and making my case for them to looking at it again and take a look at this play again, because I believe it's a pretty good shot of this becoming the 1st down.
But those decisions are not as easy in European football, because you don't have coaching stands where there are 20 people sitting up there reviewing everything in real time. and can tell the coach, hey, you should throw that red flag, that was a first down. And from the position where the coaches are, it was pretty hard to see whether that was a first down or not. They're trying the Austrian version of the tush push. Naturally, the Prague Lions say nope, and the Raiders Tirol say we have a first down.
Let's see where they give it, but I think it's a first down. See, Opel, why I'm constantly telling to just run a sneak. I mean, it looks tough. It looks like a tough yardage game, but usually the offense gets that yard. Maybe sometimes 2 yards, whatever. It's just so easy to execute. There's just so little room for error on the offensive side. That's why I strongly believe you should always, when you're within the 2-yard line, just call the QB sneak, especially if you have more than one down.
So a little more than 3 minutes to go, and the Raiders Tirol are having the next touchdown. Lukas Hasselwanter extends the lead of the Raiders Tirol in this matchup against the Prague Lions.
Look at Hasselwanter. He's finding the hole to the left side. Prague Lions looked a bit, I think it's his third touchdown, but, you can see like nobody, like the defense of the Prague Lions being out physically outplayed by the Raiders Tirol, doing a great job on that power play. Nobody really got to Hasselwanter, and then it's just one guy with a bad angle who can't get to him. And the Raiders Tirol are up 2 scores. I'm going to come back to it, Opu. If the Prague Lions don't score on this drive, they're in big problems, because then the Raiders Tirol can still score and they get the ball back right after halftime.
Extra point is good. 24-13, the lead of the Raiders Tirol. There we see again Lukas Hasselwanter, number 24, and it's his 3rd touchdown in this game.
He's having himself a day. Again, though, I really like, when your running back has a great day in receiving and running, everybody around him is doing a good job as well, putting him in those good situations. And then him, the way he plays it, he just excels from that situations. He excels when he has some free space, when he's not touched within the first 4 or 5 yards. And then he does a great job of keeping his eyes down the field, finding the green and running towards the end zone. Oppo, game deciding drive right here. I'm calling it early. This is they're down 11 points, 3 minutes left. If they don't score here and run the clock down, I think they will have a pretty tough time getting back into this game.
Exactly what you said. The Prague Lions offense has 2 tasks now. First of all, they have to keep the ball for the last 3 minutes and 2 seconds and don't let the Raiders Tirol hit the turf again, their offense. And secondly, they do have to score if they want to stay into this battle about the postseason. Pressure on Jalen Henderson, but he is Teflon. No, nothing really sticks on him. He always gets along with shaking off 1 or 2 defensive players.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of just slipping through that sack, and not only not getting sacked, but getting that extra yardage. Just shows what tough playmaker he is. He calls for a face mask as well, I believe. Maybe he was celebrating there. But for the Raiders Tirol, the biggest thing is to just keep him contained, Like, even there's one guy, stay in your running lanes, rushing lanes. Don't let him break out.
Trips bunch to the right, and he throws to the right, but overthrows his wide receiver. That one was intended for David Luxan.
Yeah, I think right now you can clearly see Willie Patterson isn't there. Wade, they have a great relationship. I think Billy isn't playing today, who's his best European wide receiver, the guys he's been balling out over the entire season. And this just hurts you in situations like this when you don't have the guys you trust the most, if you have to get a new American wide receiver in. So they need something to drag themselves out of this hole now.
Jalen Henderson again running himself, has a new set of downs. And if you just mentioned number 12, Matiashvili, the young star wideout of the Prague Lions, he might not show up anymore this season for the Prague Lions because I heard numerous rumors that he is switching over to play college football in the U.S.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Happy to hear about those news for him.
This is a 2-minute warning.
Those two teams are not set to be in the Big Four, but you should all get your tickets for the 15th and 16th of August at the PSD Bank Arena in Frankfurt. The Big Four, the playoffs played in one stadium and one weekend. So you get your tickets and you have a whole lot of weekend of full and packed European American football. 2 games played on 2 days, and you see the top 4 teams of the inaugural season of the European Football Alliance. And Jan, we've covered the Prague Lions already a couple of times, and if I'm looking in the stands, the performance of the Prague Lions in the last couple of weeks really led to a bigger audience in the Bohemian Stadium in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, and you know, in Germany we call it mouth-to-mouth propaganda. When people like get the news out, that's just like a great atmosphere and like a great event to go to. And I just believe that, especially the games they won, this has been so much fun. It looked so much fun. So everybody brings a friend, and you just have a great day at the Prague Lions facility at Prague Lions Stadium.
Jalen Henderson empty, signaling where he wants to have Keon the Sane. Nice completion for a short gain. Well, there we see it. If we don't have enough practice time with each other, I simply hand signal my wide receiver where he should go.
Yeah, that play was kind of set up to be like a second level screen, and they got lucky they didn't get called with a pass interference because every receiver was blocking way before he touched the ball. So Prague Lions a bit lucky with the referee calls today.
2nd and 5 for the Prague Lions. Already in Raiders territory. Jalen Henderson keeps the ball and plays catch me if you can with the Raiders defense. Massive gain for number 6.
And that's what they have to do. He's the guy who will drag them out of the hole. They go offset running back here, and this time it's a design quarterback one. Just a quick draw. He reads it up perfectly. Juzelka reads it up perfectly as well. He takes a big hit though and lands on his butt there. But good job here by Henderson.
And they're pushing the pedal down. Next play already happened. Quick pass to the outside to number 11, Adam Juzelka.
Yes.
65 seconds on the clock to play in this first half. We have an injured Raider on the field.
There is a timeout on the field for an injured player. By rule, Raiders will be charged their 3rd and final timeout of the first half.
Jay Jackson, the British linebacker, the one injured here, was walking off pretty fluently off the field. With the physiotherapist of the Raiders Tirol. "65 seconds and 28 yards to the Holy Land." Prague Lions 2nd and 12, pass to the outside, but this one was incomplete, trying to find Radim Kalush again, who seems to have taken over the spot of Matjashvili. So it looks pretty good with one of the tasks the Prague Lions offense has, not to give the ball into the hands of Kenyatta Allen again in this half. But the second task, well, scoring 3rd and 12 we have. Jalen Henderson still scanning the field. Now he's going deep. He has a new first down, finds Paul Breuer. And the Raiders are at the Prague Lions are at the 6-yard line. Why am I constantly mixing up Raiders and Lions?
I think because you're just way too excited.
Run play for the Prague Lions, and this is Paul Breuer, not only his first touchdown for the Prague Lions, but a very important one.
And that's just super important, not only to get the crowd going again, what I mentioned it, you were in danger of getting back a 3-possession game, and now you give it to your new running back, German Paul Breuer, who tanks through after the big catch, tanks through the line. And then you can see, I think both defenses at the end of both drives, of the last drives, they get a bit tired. You can see it's harder for them to hold their gaps, to get to the tackling, and then on both offensive sides, Paul Breuer in this case is just too good to be held down.
Marek Schubon sends the ball down the main road, and we have a new score of 24-20 in favor of the Raiders Tirol.
Doing a good job, again, finding the hole, great blocking. You can see it here again. Linebacker isn't quick enough to get him behind the line of scrimmage. He finds the hole, takes his shoulders down, raises his arms up. The Prague Lions are back in contention. And I've been talking so much about the timeouts and why they're so important. And I think right here is a great example. Technically, you have 30 seconds left. Technically, if you would have all your 3 timeouts, that's still somewhat of an opportunity to score, somewhat of an opportunity to take some shots, to throw deep to Jackson. With 0 timeouts, this is almost impossible to score. So that's the wasted opportunity you just gave away just because you weren't really doing a good job on your offensive operations, because something was wrong, you didn't have to play for it. And that's why timeouts are so important to keep until the end of the half, so we can control the clock so we can still score.
Marek Schubon, he has a huge leg and proves it again. But one more question, Coach Weinreich. Would you have considered trying a 2-point conversion after that touchdown?
Yes, 100%. Not 100%. I don't know exactly the stats behind it, but at the end of the day, if you kick the extra point, it's a 3-point game, which would make it just a field goal game at the end of the day. But as the game is still so long, and as the chances of scoring a 2-point conversion are lower than a 1-point conversion, I think it's still acceptable to only go for it. But my gut would tell me going for 2 would have been a better option here.
So the Raiders Tirol are still having one more drive in this opening half here in Prague in Bohemian Stadium. And one has to say both offensive are doing a good job in protecting the ball. We did not have a single turnover yet.
Yeah, and as I said before, I think a single turnover might decide this game today.
So that's it. That was the first half action here in Bohemian Stadium in Prague, in the Czech Republic. The Raiders Tirol are leading this 24-20. We're taking a little break, and Jan Weinreich and Joko Puklik will be back for the second half.
Yeah.
You ready?
Hey. Let's go. Back. I'm at my prime. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa.
to fake. Kenyatta Allen goes deep. And this is complete. There is the next touchdown of the Raiders Tirol. This is a rush, and this is a massive gain for the Raiders Tirol. Touchdown, Tobias Bonatti.
Spoustu času má a to hledalo mimo. Jestli se nepletu, tohle touchdown nebude. Bylo to mimo, je to tak. Lukáš Kovář do toho sice dal spoustu. Svědky bylo to k ničemu. Nic, nebudu vám do toho už kecat, můžete si zbytek halftimecou, protože za chvíli to bude třetí čtvrtina dnešního utkání.
We're back in the Czech Republic. We see the Raiders Tirol are getting ready for the second half. The Prague Lions are out on the field as well. But there's still a little halftime flag football game going on. So the teams still have a little bit more time to do their halftime adjustments. The Raiders Tirol, impressive run game so far in the first half. It says everything that Lucas Hasselwanta has already 3 touchdowns, 1 pass caught and 2 rushing touchdowns for the number 24 of the Raiders Tirol. And the Raiders are leading it by 4 points, 24-20. For both teams, it's absolutely necessary to win. If either team that loses, the season and the hopes for the postseason are over. We're back at the Bohemian Stadium, a stadium in the center, right in the middle of the capital of the Czech Republic of Prague. Small, little, beautiful little stadium, and the home of the Prague Lions. Raiders Tirol will get the ball starting the third quarter because they won the coin toss before the game and deferred to the second half. Here we see what I just mentioned. Lucas Hasselwanta, the running back of the Raiders Tirol, already 3 touchdowns in this matchup. See number 3, Dakota Thomas, the cornerback of the Prague Lions, getting ready for the second half. Just to remind you all, those 2 teams, they met before in week 7 in Tirol, in the Tivoli Stadium, the stadium that will host the first final of the European Football Alliance. And the Prague Lions won it by 45-44. Marek Huban is about to kick off the second half. Calling this game for you still, my name is Jörg Opurpublik, together with Jan Weinreich. Little problems by picking up the ball here by Angelo Gross. So not a huge return. It will be very, very important for the Prague Lions to stop this first drive of the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, and let's see what this offense has in stock for us. They got themselves in a perfect situation that every time they score a touchdown, it will be a 2-possession game. So that's a nice, comfortable lead for them. They always know the Prague Lions, they need to score 2 more touchdowns. As long as you secure the ball and you do your stuff and you do your homework, you're in good position.
I'm feeling too good right now. Tobias Bonatti. No, it's not Tobias Bonatti, it's Tim Tonko. Still on his feet, being pushed by his offensive lineman.
Again, I think they started this drive and this half just how they started the last half, at the first half, just with a counter play from the same formation. And then it's just great effort by his offensive line pushing him. And then I believe someone got hurt in the pull on there. It's Gonzalez. Ooh. Hey, if he's out, that's a big hole in the middle of the defense they will miss. I hope.
Adrian Gonzalez, the Mexican player for the Prague Lions. One of those I-import players. I-imports are considered players that are from a country, not from the US, but from a country where there is college football played. So Canada, Japan, and Mexico, and American Samoa. Next run play, again, Tim Tonko. Who is by 2 centimeters the smallest of those 3 running backs of the Raiders Tirol. Hasselwanta and Bonatti, they are both exactly 5'11", and Tim Tonko is 5'10". Kenyatta Allen with the deep pass. And this is complete. This is Aaron Jackson. This is the first touchdown of the second half. Touchdown, Raiders Tirol.
No, but I think I'm not mistaken. This is his first catch. This is Aaron Jackson's first catch of the game. And what a big and important one. They catch the Prague Lions in a blitz. Allen is protected perfectly. And when this guy can sit comfortably in the pocket, he's a very, very dangerous quarterback. You can see here again, the blitz comes from the right side. He looks off the safety to then throw the ball just down the middle. Aaron Jackson, one of the best deep threat right receivers in the entire league in all of Europe, falls down for the go-ahead touchdown, which makes it a 2-possession game again.
Aaron Jackson was beating the U.S. safety of the Prague Lions, Ken Hike Jr. there. Extra point is good, and we have a 31-20 lead for the Raiders Tirol. Well, and it was his first catch of this game, but that had some style. First catch, right away, a touchdown.
Yeah, I like how he adjusted his route because it was a man to coverage, and instead of just taking it outside and take the easy release the DB gave him, he set the route up perfectly. Went outside first, let Ken Hike turn his hips to then turn inside again, not lose any speed, and then he's just on one page with his quarterback, and takes 2 plays or 3 plays, and the Raiders roll up on the scoreboard again.
So nothing has changed in general for the Prague Lions. 20-31. They are a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and a field goal behind. Dakota Thomas on the return, but didn't get anywhere. Oh no, it was the Saint Senior, the new wide receiver.
Now it's on Henderson again. He's going to win this game for his team today.
First and 10 at the 17-yard line. Jalen Henderson with the pass over the middle, finding number 7. Radim Kalush.
good play to start out this first half, you know. Don't get stressed by the scoreboard. Don't get stressed by the two-position score. The worst thing you can do is panic here, but I'm going to come at it again. Remember when they didn't win for the 4th down? When they didn't score? I believe your mentality has to be that you always going to go as long as you're in the middle of the field. I don't think you can trust your defense today. Already took 31 points. I just believe you should have a 4-down mentality every down, every drive.
2nd and short, something like a waist down. They can try something. And Jalen Henderson says, okay, I'm going to run the ball. Easily a new set of downs. After the injury of Willie P, Jalen Henderson has to carry this Prague Lions team on his shoulders. First and 10, a run game over the middle. Adam Zhuzelka with a gain of about 8-9 yards. Adam Mazepus, the center of the Prague Lions. Hand off, another run game. Again, Adam Zhuzelka. And this is a new first down for the Prague Lions.
Good job of them sticking with the run game, you know, keeping the defense honest. As I said, they don't panic. It's a long way of playing football. And then, of course, they have a lot of players missing today. So you got to give the ball to players you trust, and that one of those is just Adam Zhuzelka. And with Paul Breuer in the backfield as well, I think you feel very, very comfortable of getting Zhuzelka the ball as often as you want to, because you know you're going to have him for 4 quarters.
He is definitely the workhorse in the Prague Lions offense. Play action fake. Jalen Henderson has time. Now he's running himself. New first down and more. And I do like that about Jalen Henderson when you saw him getting up after this tackle. This guy always has a smile on his face.
Yeah, clear to see that this man loves ball, you know. Clear ball lover, and loves the competition. Even when they're down some scores, man, this guy never stops playing, never stops competing.
First and 10, a dive up the middle again. Adam Zhuzelka, the power runner of the Prague Lions, with a nice game.
Coming again, love the legs, love them trusting him. Also love him subbing him out, you know, not put a whole pressure on him. But it's just a good job by the Prague Lions of spreading the ball around a bit and trusting their players who've been performing over the last weeks for them.
Second and about 5. Paul Breuer, the ball carrier, and that should be enough for a new first down. Paul Breuer, number 23, really an important acquisition for the Prague Lions, because this means Adam Zhuzelka does not have to pound and carry the ball for 4 quarters. That gives the opportunity to give him a break. And it was not a first down. It was 3rd and 1. The Prague Lions tried the quarterback sneak, but that didn't really work out. Definitely not the way it was planned.
Yeah, the good thing is you can just now run it again. Let's see what happened there. Raiders are doing a good job of like jumping towards those gaps. I mean, Jalen Henderson could have jumped over it, but as I said, man, the good thing is you could basically just call it again, go for a sneak again, which I probably won't. So very, very important down here in fourth.
4th and 1. And the Prague Lions go empty. No running back next to Jalen Henderson. Well, the graphics say it's 4th and 2.
Timeout, Raiders. It's their first team timeout of the second half.
This could be a very, very important play coming up. 4th and 2 for the Prague Lions. And the Raiders are leading it by 2 scores.
Yeah, the way they came out here at first, the Prague Lions, looked like they want to go empty. Jalen Henderson alone in the backfield, which I would have believed will be then a quarterback run or some kind of motion. They're going to do it again. You know, if Willie Patterson would be here, they would motion him in as well as a decoy or maybe as a pitch guy. Yeah, there we see. Good
To
play.
the outside to Lisane Senior, but great defense by the Raiders Tirol.
What a play. I mean, what a play by the defense. The Prague Lions play speed option. They get to Henderson quick, so he has to pitch that ball. And see, this is why I'm just not a big fan of plays like this. You snap the ball 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, then with the pitch, the ball is 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then you even ran it to the side where there were multiple American players of the Raiders Tirol. And then it's just a tough play to execute. The Raiders Tirol have a lot of time to jump towards that ball and make the play.
So, turnover and downs, everything speaks for the silver and black Raiders from Tirol, from Austria. Kenyatta Allen with the play, Tobias Bonatti, the ball carrier. Kenyatta Allen, 2nd and 9 for the Raiders offense. Allen with the pass, and that's a big interception by Alexander Borkovic, and he's still on his feet running, and the Prague Lions have the ball back. Alexander Borkovic, the linebacker, his 2nd interception of the season.
And I just love the reaction. I just love the energy by the Prague Lions. You know, this defense hasn't really been standing up to Raiders Tirol. Every drive has ended in a score, and now for them to get their offense back into this game where they almost lost track, where this game slipped out of their hand, getting that interception, some heat on the sideline. You know, emotional game for both these teams. As we said, the team who's losing this game will be eliminated from the playoffs. But let's see what happened here. What did Allen see from to throw intercept? Borkovic drops in the middle, and he just doesn't see him. He just doesn't read it correctly. Great play by Borkovic, though, who does a great job of just taking a look at Allen, jumping into zone, and then taking the opportunity to intercept that pass.
And this interception by Alexander Borkovic, number 0 of the Prague Lions, this could be the spark that the Lions team needed in this matchup today. But still, the Whitehead, Stefan Thunberg, has some arguments going on. There were a couple of yellow flags flying at the end of this play.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a illegal crackback block, like an unnecessary roughness call, which we're gonna take them back 15 yards. You're gonna see it right there by number 8. Back in your days, that would not have been a flag; it would be clean football. But nowadays, to make the game a bit safer, and then we have some fighting, some pushing, some shoving around. You know, Raiders Tirol players trying to protect their players.
Yeah, Jan Chris, number 8. He is not only an excellent cornerback, he's also somehow the aggressive leader, you could call him, of this Prague Lions defense. And this crack block, you're right, a couple years ago, this would not have been a penalty. So Stefan Thunberg talking to head coach Shuhan Fatah,
who does not look happy with what the Whitehead just told him.
So we're seeing Adam Shushelka and the offense of the Prague Lions here getting ready for their next drive.
Yes, it looks like their right tackle is ejected, which makes this play even more painful for them, which is the way, way bigger loss. And what a turn of events, Opu. I mean, you throw the pick, you're up 2 scores, you throw the pick, you get the Prague Lions the ball back, and then you can't keep your emotions right, you throw punches, and you got to be missing out the rest of the game as a very, very important player to this game. Might be the game-deciding play, the game-deciding decision here.
But if we still think back of the slow-mo that we just saw of the action happening after the interception, Ilya Krajovic, okay, he threw some punches, but he was definitely not the only one throwing some punches. I mean, Jan Chris definitely first had this crack block and then threw some punches as well. Well, the officiating crew is still evaluating what was really happening after this interception. I think it will not be any doubt that this interception stands. It's all about that rumble after the interception, who will be ejected and what kind of penalties will be put on each team. We're still waiting for the decision of the officiating crew. After what happened,
the previous play is under further review.
Okay, they are probably still have to figure out who will be ejected, as there are numerous players that threw punches. Something you don't want to see in a football game that does not have to do anything on the football field. Plus, for everybody who ever played American football, to throw a punch is the dumbest thing you can do because your opponent is wearing a helmet. It simply doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can probably throw a flag against Martinez there as well, so there might be multiple players who will be ejected. But if you see that scene again, I mean, it got heated and people were throwing punches back and forth, but I wish I could see it again to make some sense of it.
In general, nothing really seriously happened, I mean, to be honest.
Yeah, and I can be honest, I understand that you don't want this altercation to happen, and you don't want anything like any punches to be thrown, whatever. But let's say if both teams throw punches, if both teams get heated, I would just love for flags to be thrown, both players get the personal foul, but nobody gets ejected, because, you know, that's just something that happens in the heat of the moment, and just not a single play and it's not super unnecessary. I rather have those players still having a chance to just come out and play and prove it on the field instead of being ejected straight away.
Okay, I don't think that's enough for an ejection. Okay, so
Ilya Krajinovic, number 56, that is no discussion. He already left the field heading towards the locker room.
Yeah. It's the same guy. Yeah. Okay.
This is quite some work for the officiating crew if such a rumble starts.
Okay, so we have a dead ball. We have a
Because I personally don't want to be between a offensive lineman and a defensive lineman that have something against each other and start throwing punches. I don't want to go in between that.
Yeah, that's why you better resolve those situations quickly. Throw the flags, get everybody to the sideline, call the flag. I think it took a bit too much time for my tables.
After a further review, the interception stands. After the interception, personal foul, blind side block, intercepting team number 8. When the play was over, personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Raiders number 56, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Prague sideline. Those fouls offset. By rule, the ball will be spaced. First down, Prague. Raiders number 56 has been ejected from the rest of the game.
Until Stefan Thunberg said this last sentence, I definitely went along with all the decisions that the officiating crew did, but I don't think it was absolutely necessary to eject Ilya Krajinovic, the left tackle of the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, me neither. I'm with you on that.
But the officiating crew took the decisions, and now we can play ball again. The Prague Lions will get the ball at the 33-yard line of the Raiders Tirol. And the Prague Lions need the ball because they're behind 11 points with almost 7 minutes on the clock in the third quarter. Oh, lucky Raiders Tirol that Precious Ogbevone got one hand on Jalen Henderson. I think otherwise he would have been gone to the Holy Land.
I think Precious was the one making the second hit. I think he got caught up in the interior line by one, and then Precious had a clean shot on him. And if this wouldn't be Jalen Henderson, I would be scared of my quarterback, but this guy can take a hit and he can take the whole team on his back.
So 2nd and 7 for the Prague Lions. Henderson from the shotgun, pass to the outside, but incomplete, trying to hit Keon Lesane Sr.
Ball a bit overthrown, might be a bit of a miscommunication between those two. As we mentioned often, he hasn't moved the team for so long. Might have slipped out a bit, yeah, wobbles a bit, so might have also slipped out. So incomplete and 3rd down. But again, you're thinking 4 downs here anyway.
Well, they're definitely already in field goal distance for their kicker, for Marek Rubon. Shouldn't forget, his longest field goal is 54 yards. Pass in the direction of number 7, Radim Kalous. but the way he is reacting, he did not come down with the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, the refs called this incomplete. Again, Henderson with a great ball, good spot. And he just stepped out of bounds. So this is just like a inch decision. Let's take a look. Great camera angle from here. I mean, you can't throw the ball any better than that. You can't cover that any better. You know, that's why this coverage is so great, because semi-sideline is always your friend as a defense back. You just got to be in position and push the receiver out. It's a good heads-up play by the defense of the Raiders Tirol. And the Prague Lions need to
7, and Marek Rubon trying the field goal. Well, if James Brooks is challenging that decision, he's going to lose that, because we saw definitely that the wide receiver stepped on the line, did not have both feet in bounds, although it was a nice catch and a perfect pass, but there were not both feet in bounds.
There's no timeout on the field.
So no challenge, no timeout. 4th and 7, and Marek Rubon with the field goal attempt. This is up and it is through. New score, Raiders Tirol 31, Prague Lions 23.
And he's deadly. It's a deadly kicker. From this distance in this situation again, you know, making it an 8-point game now, so one position game again. But it's a long distance, so heads up to this guy, man. He's a elite kicker in this league.
And have you seen how much more room he had for that field goal? That could have been easily 15 yards longer.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that about mostly all his kicks.
Marek Rubon to kick it off. Still over 6 minutes to play in this third quarter. It's a long quarter because all of this rumbling and quarrel after the interception took quite some time. No return. Angelo Gross decides to kneel it down. So the ball is going to be placed at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, what a weird turn of events and emotional game this has been for the last 3 netto minutes, but like 20 minutes of our lifetime. I mean, the Raiders Tirol had the perfect opportunity to just pull away, score. They throw the first pick. Allen makes his first big mistake as the quarterback of the Raiders Tirol. And now they're in a pressure situation here without their starting right tackle. It's going to be an interesting rest of the second half.
Oh, and very interesting is this run by Tim Tonko. All the way to the Prague Lions 18-yard line.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't matter. They just come out ball again. So great run, great counter play to the right side. Tonko reads it out perfectly. Gets to the open field, gets multiple yards. Takes a big hit by Martinez there, but gets up straight away. So good job by the Raiders Tirol.
What an answer by Tim Tonko. Quick pass to the outside. Kenyatta Allen connects with Adrian Platzgummer.
And that's how you take control of the game again. You know, like, you just believe in your strengths. Allen is a veteran quarterback. He doesn't really care for him if you do an interception, pick, whatever. I think he can just mark that off, believes in the next play, next drive mentality, and you just find yourself into scoring situation again. And with, you know, the Prague Lions just kicking a field goal, you can even expand your lead from when you had the ball the last time.
Kenyatta Allen from the shotgun, 2 running backs next to him. Quick pass to the outside, finding Adrian Platzgummer again.
Great screen. The quarterback came down late and played the flat, so the offensive lineman did an amazing job of going into the correct angle, which had to then be very flat. Adrian Platzgummer catching the ball, turning upfield from 9 yards.
Adrian Platzgummer, if you say I heard this name somewhere before, is the brother of the former New York Giants running back Sandro Platzgummer. Lucas Hasselwanter gets hit pretty hard here. Gets up slowly, number 24. We'll look at it again as he gets around the corner. After that hit, Lucas Hasselwanter decided he could use a little timeout on the sideline. And talking about a timeout.
Timeout, Raiders. It's a second team timeout, the second half.
I'm far away from saying that this drive of the Raiders Tirol could be game deciding, but it is important because you don't know what these two teams still have in store for us.
Yeah, I mean, one thing for the Raiders Tirol is you always want to have that comfortable lead. I mean, of course you want to have that. But to elaborate on that, having that 2-possession lead and kind of like being in control, being a bit laid back, allowing your defense to play a bit softer, to not overplay anything, to not be too aggressive, it's just such a huge advantage in the second half.
Kenyatta Allen with the handoff. And there he is again, Mr. Touchdown of today's game. Lucas Hasselwanter, his 4th touchdown of the game.
And if they continue to run the ball as well as they do right here, I don't think it will be hard for them to score. And they're getting close to 100 points with Allen as their quarterback. You know, he has really changed this team. And they have really changed as a team, the way they run the ball, the way they pass the ball, the way how efficient they are. It's just so tough for the Prague Lions to get back into this game if this offense keeps on rolling.
Long snap, a little high, but no problem handling it. Jonathan Loria puts it through the uprights. So the PAT is good. And the Raiders Tirol, although Lucas Hasselwanter is still breathing a little heavy, but it was his 4th touchdown of the game. Number 24 of the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, keep on getting that guy the ball. It's my case I'm making today.
So the new score is a 38-23. To remind you, whoever loses this game, the playoff hopes are over. No return. Ken Hike Jr. is kneeling down. So the Prague Lions will start their next drive at the 35-yard line. What can he still do? What does he still have in store for us? Jalen Henderson. From the shotgun pass. He's going deep, but overthrown. His new wide receiver, Keyshawn Lesane Sr.
But there's a flag on the field.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, first down.
So that's a huge gain for the Prague Lions. And there is the reason why, well, little ice cream with these temperatures always nice to have. There's a reason why this ball was so far overthrown by Jalen Henderson. There was a pass interference.
Yeah, I think he turned up. They had a double route called, and when he was turning up when he did his move and turn up for the deeper route, he was basically just caught and grabbed by the defensive player. So I believe there was a good call here.
Run play from the 37-yard line. Jalen Henderson. That's about 5. Minute 40 left to play in the third quarter. Time is running. And right now it's running against the Prague Lions. Run play using number 23, Paul Breuer, the German running back.
You know, they stay true to their game plan. They keep the defense honest. They still run the ball. And I believe that's the right thing to do, because then it's easier for Jalen Henderson to then realize and know when to make the big plays, when to take matters into his own hands. But one thing must be clear for them. They can't leave the field without a touchdown.
Jalen Henderson keeps the ball, runs himself, and should have a new first down for the Prague Lions.
Good run, as I mentioned. That's the reason why you give the ball to different players, to different running backs, so his legs are fresh. And then once he gets into some space, he's able to break a tackle, or he's not being dragged down by the defender to then get the very, very important first down.
Wasn't down yet. The same senior, if one takes into account that he just got to the Prague Lions within the last week, so he had probably 1, maximum 2 practices with the team. He's already showing what he's bringing to the plate.
And they got lucky the whistle was blown right there. Rightly so, because the forward progress was done. But the Raiders Tirol punched that ball up with the nice little peanut punch there.
2nd and 4. Prague Lions at the 20-yard line of the Raiders Tirol. Jalen Henderson keeps the ball. Jalen Henderson runs it and gets stopped about 2 yards short of the end zone.
Mentioned in soft, man, he's the guy who will and who needs to take matters into his own hands and who will be the reason why they win this game. He did just come up with a quick quarterback power. The Raiders Tirol defense needs to do a better job here of forcing the play back inside, because you can't allow Jalen Henderson to get into open space and to then just run into defensive backs who are just not as physical, not as big to tackle him and just not as athletic enough to tackle him. So going into the 4th quarter with the Prague Lions knocking on the door.
And for everybody who is not that familiar with American football, why do you want to keep him inside? You want to keep him inside because that's where the help is coming from. That's where the linebacker and all the rest of the defensive players are coming from. They're coming from the inside. On the outside, you give him room to do what he just did. So if you keep him on the inside, then you definitely have a better chance of controlling somebody like Jalen Henderson. And there we have the first touchdown of this game. Justus Selig is bringing it to the house. Touchdown, Munich Ravens. Snap, but they still get it out. Touchdown for the Prague Lions. Bijan Harris on the return. Bijan Harris is still on the run. Bijan Harris, is he going all the way? Bijan Harris is taking it to the house. Kickoff, return, touchdown. What an answer by the Munich Ravens. We're back at the Bohemian Stadium to start the 4th quarter. 38-23. The lead of the Raiders Tirol, but the Prague Lions are only a couple yards away from the Raiders Tirol end zone, and Jalen Henderson is taking it to the house. Touchdown for the Prague Lions. Jalen Henderson is still discussing because he wants to have another call, a face mask call. But this is absolutely unnecessary what the Lions are doing here. Stay calm and composed. You still have a job to do in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little bit cheapy after the play. Jalen Henderson had some nice words to say there. Like, man, good play. I like the way you look, nice shoes. At the end, it's all good ball. Like this.
Yeah, probably exchanging telephone numbers.
Exactly.
Those kind of things.
Exactly. And now the Prague Lions need to go for 2.
Henderson on the rollout. Henderson under pressure. Henderson throws it to the end zone, but this is... Is that caught?
It isn't. But good decision here by the Prague Lions going for 2. Some might say, why go for 2? The game is still so long. If you kick the field goal, it's one possession game. You got to forget about all that stuff, because the most important thing for you as an offense or as the Prague Lions is that you need to know how often you need to go for 2, because to tie this game up, or basically to get back into this game, you need more than 1 2-point conversion. So you go for 2 now, and if you don't get it, you know it's a 2-position game anyway. If you wait until the end of the game and you don't get the 2-point conversion, it's too late for you to adjust. So it's the right decision here to go for 2, even though even if you don't make it, because now you know already, okay, it's a 2-position game, I need a touchdown and a field goal, and you can manage your clock and you can manage the game better.
38-29, the lead of the silver and black Raiders from Tirol, from Austria. And we're in the fourth quarter. Still, I would not put any money on any of those teams. This game has not been decided yet. So this upcoming drive, as we see, Jalen Henderson here still pretty occupied with breathing. No wonder after that touchdown run that he did. This upcoming drive for the Raiders Tirol is very important. Take time off the clock and end it with a touchdown, and this could be the victory for the Raiders Tirol. Run play, but only a small gain of about a yard for the Raiders. Again, it's Tim Tonko starting the drive on the running back position.
We have a timeout on the field for an injured player.
Jakob Smutny is not getting up, obviously in pain.
Yeah, you can see that someone rolled up, or he rolled up on, his ankle. Apart from that, good job of the Prague Lions linebackers. You know, going through their read keys, reading what the Raiders were doing, and as soon as they saw the pulling guards, they were just jumping and shooting their gaps, which then allowed them to make the tackle for loss. But yeah, Schmutny being out takes a big body out of the middle of the field.
And that is a big body, 6'7". Pass to Aaron Jackson. The U.S. wide receiver with the number 1 of the Raiders Tirol that missed a couple of games due to injury, was on injured reserve. Second week back from injured reserve.
Allen's doing a really, really good job here of just getting back into his drop back, reading the defense. The Prague Lions only sent 3 people to rush him. He just stays calm and composed in the pocket. Doesn't take the easy access to the middle to run, just finds Aaron Jackson, who hasn't seen the ball much today, but in very important situations, and that does 2 things for you. First of all, you get the first down. Second of all, keeps the clock running, which is your friend in this game for you today.
Great defensive work by Alexander Borkovic again. This guy is really playing like crazy today.
Yeah, he's been making multiple tackles from the backside when I put him on the line of scrimmage. The Raiders Tirol have not done a good job here of adjusting their blocking schemes on the run play when he's away from the run. And he's then just very good in getting to the line, getting behind the line and making a tackle. But also, the Raiders Tirol have kind of a tendency of running it on the 1st and 10, which also makes it then easy to call aggressive plays there.
2nd and 12 for the Raiders. Pass is complete to Lorenzo Bassi, Italian wide receiver playing for the Austrian team.
Tunnel screen to the right side. They get him in a man look, but as they don't get the block and as the timing isn't perfectly, and as the Prague Lions do a great job of running towards the football, they limit the yardage gain. Call me crazy, I'm still thinking 4-down territory here. I'm thinking about a short pass, get 6-7 yards here, and then just convert to 4th down.
3rd and 8. There's Borkovic flying in the direction of Kenyatta Allen. And there is Aaron Jackson with a diving catch for the Raiders Tirol.
What a play. Allen in the back, all out blitz, makes a guy miss, keeps his eyes down the field, and then throws in the middle of the field to his American receiver on his back foot under pressure, who then needs to jump for the pass, does a very acrobatic catch in the middle of the field, and makes the big play.
Well, as Jan Weinreich said it before, Aaron Jackson, he's not having a lot of touches, but he's having the important ones. Wonderful thing from Aaron Jackson, this diving catch. And again, we have a Prague Lions defender who's slowly to get up. Martin Mažek, linebacker, number 55.
And lots of banked up players on the Prague Lions side. They all went back into the game. They all walked off themselves and then they all went back into the game. It just proves to you how tough it is. But what a dagger to the heart, man. You get the perfect play, 3rd and 10. You get pressure towards the quarterback. Just then to not make the play. But as again, the Raiders will just have been balling out today, especially in the big situation.
1st and 10 at the Lions' 21-yard line. Run play by the Raiders, but very good defended by the Prague Lions.
Again, 1st and 10, they run the ball, keep it safe, keeps the clock running. I would love for them to just have a counter here as well, you know, like counter, like play action, roll Allen out, just to not be just not be sniffed out as easily as they are right now, and like maybe get the ball to the flat or whatever. But you know, still they're leading it. Good job of just playing it out. And again, they're just in front of the end zone. If they score a touchdown here, this game might be over.
Trips to the left, Kenyatta Allen, pump fakes, scanning the field, has a lot of time. And again, there he is, the 0 of the Prague Lions, Alexander Borkovic again.
What is the flag for? Borkovic or the Raiders and says, "Can't be me." Cadronel takes a lot of time. They keep him in the pocket.
Well, as long as this play took, I would vote for a holding call against the offense.
Yeah, probably.
That was unusual how much time Kenyatta Allen had there in the pocket.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
So it is a holding call. There we saw it. So 2nd and 19. 11 minutes, 10 seconds to play in this game. The Prague Lions need the ball. Empty backfield for the Raiders.
Allen, total sink here. So
Outside.
Allen identified the man coverage right before the snap. Checked the play, got the ball quickly to the flat to Kantner, who then turned up the field. And they got almost all the yardage back from the flag, and I think like 2 yards extra. So the Prague Lions would have been better off if they would just declined the penalty and went to the 3rd and 11 they would have had. So now we have another game-deciding money down with this 3rd and 8 right in front of the Prague Lions.
3rd and 8. You shouldn't forget the Raiders have a pretty good place kicker, so they can still put points on the board. Pass into the end zone, but incomplete. Prague Lions are celebrating this like a victory, but there's a lot of ball to play. Jonathan Loria. One field goal already made today. Longest this season, 47 yards. So this is no distance for number 28. Snap is good, almost blocked, but the field goal is good. So it's a 41-29 lead for the Raiders Tirol, and we have a little bit more than 10 minutes to play here in the Bohemian Stadium in Prague.
So with this field goal, the reason why you kick it is it's a 12-point game now. 12 points. If you want to get ahead, you need 2 touchdowns for it. So the Prague Lions need to score 2 touchdowns. To be out, because even if you do a touchdown, 2-point conversion, kick a field goal, that's only 11 points. So it's a 2-touchdown score basically for the Raiders Tirol, playing out the clock pretty well, playing out their possessions. And how this game is going though is the Prague Lions need 2 stops now. They need to play perfect football. They need to score quickly as well, and they can't allow the Raiders Tirol to get back on the field and steam down. So from this point on, all we need basically, or all we need from the Prague Lions is to play perfect football.
Ken Hike Jr. can put a basis on that with a nice kickoff return to the 48-yard line of the Lions.
How about a big special teams play to just get you back? And you know, we've seen it in the beginning of the game, and now we've seen it right at the end of the game. Hike Jr. is a very explosive and dangerous returner. Finds the crease, finds the hole, and gets the ball all the way to the 50-yard line, which will help them so much in coming back into this game.
Ten minutes on the clock. 12 games behind. Jalen Henderson scanning the field, going deep. Trying to connect with his number 14, David Lukshan.
I mean, the fans doing the best job of getting that flag and like trying to get this pass interference call. I'm not sure if I would have thrown it. Let's see. Jennison goes back, drops deep, steps up into the pocket, buys himself some time, and then I think the feet just clicked within each other, and usually you don't want to throw the flag there. It's got to be intentional. So good, no call by the ref.
Their feet simply got tangled up. There was no attention seen by the defender.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
These are things that the Prague Lions cannot afford to have anymore. As you said, Jan, they need to play perfect 10 minutes of football. No offsides, no false starts, no holdings, no dumb penalties. 2nd and 15 for the Lions. Pass from Jalen Henderson finds Radim Kalous.
Yeah, and there's just no pass rush anymore from the Raiders Tirol. You see in the 4th quarter, they're getting a bit tired now. And I will not expect them to blitz much. I think they will just stay in their basic coverage to prevent the big plays. As I said, their offense is playing lights out today. The clock is on their side. And as long as you then play good football in the red zone, I think that's a good game plan to go with.
3rd and 3. Adam Zhuzelka trying to get the first down, but he fumbles the ball. The ball came out. The question is, when did the officials whistle the play dead? When was the forward progress stopped? Because the ball clearly came out when Adam Zhuzelka was still on his feet.
The ruling on the field is that forward progress had stopped. 4th down.
Okay, the Prague Lions are lucky here. Forward progress was stopped, as Whitehead Stefan Schulenberger just told us. So it's 4th down. The Lions have to keep this drive alive. Otherwise, I only see a 5% chance that they can turn this thing around. Fourth and 1. Jalen Henderson keeps the ball, is still on his feet, gets a new set of downs and a couple yards more.
They play the same play they had on the last 4th down, where they couldn't convert it. This time in a different setup. They run it to the left side. There's not enough Raiders Tirol players flying towards the football, and then Jalen Henderson makes a quick cut inside the gap, breaks another tackle for the 1st down. But I need to see him quicker to the line, Opu. I don't like them going to the huddle. I think they don't realize that the clock is how much the clock will be against them. I think they should go a bit more huddle now and up tempo.
Quarterback sack against Jalen Henderson.
This time Henderson doesn't do a good job of maneuvering the pocket. I think there wasn't really any pressure. He tries to become runner himself. I think the better way for him would be to throw the check down and throw the ball away. This time he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. Still fine, with him taking the play style he's taken of just trying to become runner himself and now taking this game over as it's late in the 4th quarter, and there hasn't been much help from his teammates in this game.
Quarterback sack by Dobson Hobson, the Irish defensive lineman of the Raiders Tirol. Pass from Jalen Henderson, finding number 7, Radim Kalous.
Great pass here to this curl route to the right side. They threw a similar pass to the left side. But Jalen Henderson just drops back. Again, reads out the defense, has inside pressure, but throws an absolute dime right to the chest, perfectly timed to his premier right receiver today. Kalous, who's been stepping up for the Prague Lions, and who needs to step up if they want to win this game.
Adam Zsuzselka with the run. Well, Jalen Henderson is definitely not making a lot of friends on the other side with the Raiders Tirol players. Number 6 is absolutely fired up. Pass from Jalen Henderson, but there was nobody in the area.
Yeah, the entire sideline was calling for holdings of the Raiders Tirol, where I mentioned before they didn't get much pressure in the beginning, but now they're getting towards Jalen Henderson. Now has to work a bit better with his inner clock. And they've been doing a great job of containing him as well. So this 4-man rush, they stay consistent in the rush lanes. Now we've seen multiple players taking those wins, pressuring Jalen Henderson, then has to throw it away. It's a good job by the Raiders Tirol defense here.
5:26 on the clock in this game. Prague Lions still have all 3 timeouts free to use. And there is Jalen Henderson again as a runner. Directly under center, Jalen Henderson, hand off up the middle, and that should be a new first down for number 11, Adam Zsuzselka. but the clock is ticking in favor of the Raiders Tirol. Only 4.5 minutes left to play at Bohemian Stadium in Prague. Jalen Henderson, 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line of the Raiders Tirol. Henderson goes deep, has a man, and that's a touchdown for the Prague Lions. David Luxan, number 14, with the catch.
Perfectly
His
thrown pass.
second touchdown.
Perfectly thrown back pass into man coverage, right to the sideline, to the right side. Jalen Henderson trusting.
Offense, number 66.
Oh!
Replay first down.
Whoa, that's a pain down below.
Wow.
Holding call against the Prague Lions. So this is not a touchdown. Still the score 41-29 in favor of the Raiders Tirol.
What a call. I don't know who it was called on, but I think 66 Hefele was grabbing a lot. You know, he was like arm choking the defender. And I heard the Raiders Tirol calling the whole game for holdings. They couldn't get a single one. And now in this crucial situation, in this crucial drive, finally getting that call is big time for them and very unfortunate for the Prague Lions, where now it's like you got to have the right mentality to not be pushed down into the hole, just to come back and score again.
4 minutes, 4 seconds to play. So it's 1st and 20. Jalen Henderson trying to go deep and to connect with Keon Lesane Sr., the Willie P replacement.
Holding. Offense, number 21. That's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Defense. He wanted to call defense. It was a holding on the defense. 21, the DB, where the ball was thrown to.
Offside. Holding defense.
Thank you. So
Thank you, Jan Weinreich, because you noticed it right away. I still had question marks in my head when he said holding offense 5-yard penalty. That was kind of...
I understand that the Raiders will want to mix up their coverage, but man coverage just has not been working for them pretty well today. I just sit back, play zone.
From the shotgun trips to the left side of the offense. Jalen Henderson trying to connect with Josef Janota, but incomplete.
Yeah, they do go man coverage here and they send the pressure. Jalen Henderson can't find the correct matchup and then breaks out left or to the left side. And then the Raiders want another holding. They don't get it again. Yeah, this is like a one-play game now here, you know. We talked enough about the score, we talked enough about the situation, but how you treat this now is just play by play, down by down. Doesn't matter what call, you just come out and execute. Try to execute the opponent on every play, because every play can and probably will turn out to be a touchdown. And you will take shots to the end zone as the Prague Lions.
2nd and 10, incomplete. Trying to hit Josef Janota again. Trips bunch to the left, empty backfield for the Prague Lions. And there's a lot of yellow laundry flying. Radim Kalush, the wide receiver, the ball was intended for.
Pass interference. Defense, number 17. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be spotted at the 1 yard line. Automatic, first down.
If he does a better job of just turning his head and like just showing that he's moving towards the ball instead of just running into the receiver, he wouldn't give the refs a reason to throw a flag on him. Here, Kalush just does a great job of acting that he's been pushed, that he can't get to the ball, just lays on the ground. But you just got to do a better job as a defensive back to turn around and showing the referees that you have the right to the ball as well and you have the same intent as the receiver to go towards that ball. But yeah, that's like still a big flag, which I don't particularly like to be flagged.
Oh, this great field position doesn't really help the Prague Lions because they're getting the next penalty called against them, a false start. Three minutes, 42 seconds left to play in Prague. And the Prague Lions, they desperately need that win because they want this deciding duel with the Frankfurt Galaxy on the last game day of the regular season. Henderson under pressure. Tries to throw the ball away so it's not getting called as a sack, but I think that was a little late.
And I think if that's not a sack, and if they don't call it a sack, it's got to be an intentional grounding because I didn't see any receiver in the area. I don't know where he was supposed to throw it, but if that's not a sack, it's an intentional grounding. And I think that's what they're going to call.
Well, the question is whether he was still in the pocket because he tried to roll out to the right a little bit to the outside where he was tackled.
I believe he was still in the pocket.
James Brooks still has some question marks on his facial expression. He still wants to know what the decision will be.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 7. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Lost it down. Second down.
Another point for Mr. Jan Weinreich.
Yeah, as I said, I think that's completely the correct call here. When the contact was initiated and when the sack was initiated, was still in the pocket. There was nobody in the area. And there, as I said, man, I want to say Jalen Henderson has to do a better job of getting the ball away, but at the same time, if I beat Jalen Henderson, I beat as athletic as Jalen Henderson and made so many plays, I probably keep the ball myself as well, thinking I can break this tackle as I did so many times, extend those plays, create some crazy stuff, allow my receivers to get open and then score. But again, this has been a very, very long drive here, and as I mentioned, back and forth with flags being thrown, with tight coverages, with Jalen Henderson being under pressure. Makes it so much more exciting because you just believe that every play can rather keep this a tight game or decide this game for all.
Second and goal. Henderson goes deep. Incomplete. Radim Kalous couldn't quite get there. So the Prague Lions really do have problems in scoring on this drive here. It was just a couple of centimeters overthrown.
Game of inches, as we so often call it. 3rd and long to go.
Incomplete, but we have a flag.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 92. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic, first down.
Well, the Raiders are trying to keep this thing interesting here.
That's just a stupid play. That's just a stupid play. Dibula just, like, he got his hand up, he did the right thing. He got into, clearly shown that he knows the ball is about to be thrown. And then when Henderson threw the ball, he didn't show any effort of getting out of the way. I understand it's tough to play D-line. I understand it's frustrating that you don't get to hit the QB as much. But in this situation, you just got to be smarter. It would have been 4th and 15. There would be a game-deciding play already. You just got to be smarter right there.
So now it's a 1st and goal again for the Prague Lions. Jalen Henderson keeps the ball, but gets tackled at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the defensive back with the number 16, Lorenzo Krivak. So 2nd and goal, 2:54 and running. Henderson to pass, over the middle. Incomplete, no flag.
Please reset the game clock to 2:38. 2:38. Thank you.
Martin Travelka was the intended target, but no chance to get even close to that ball. Third and goal for the Prague Lions, which feels like a week they're in this position already. Jalen Henderson still fighting for the ball there that he lost at the end of his run.
Yeah, they just do the easy thing, I guess, here, to give the ball to Jalen Henderson right in the middle. And he fumbled that ball. That's a fumble.
That's a fumble. The ball definitely came loose before he was on the ground.
That's a fumble. I mean,
and that would be a thing to throw the red flag if I would be Shuan Fatah.
This is the 2-minute warning.
2 more minutes to play. Everything speaks for a victory of the Raiders Tirol so that they can return the favor to the Prague Lions that beat the Raiders in Tivoli Stadium in Innsbruck with 45-44. And the Raiders are on the path of winning here in the Czech Republic. And that would mean that what nobody would have believed a couple of weeks ago, the Raiders Tirol are still having a chance to be part of the Big Four tournament.
And rightfully so, the way the offense has been playing and has been executed, they seemed unstoppable for everybody.
Last
But they got
regular
to stop the
season
Prague
game.
Lions here.
Last regular season game for the Raiders Tirol will be against the Paris Musketeers, but in Tivoli Stadium in Tirol. And as I mentioned before, the Prague Lions are welcoming the Frankfurt Galaxy here in Bohemian Stadium for the last game of the regular season. Right now in the EFA, only the Munich Ravens and Nordic Storm are fixed to play in the Big Four tournament. Two minutes left to play. 4th and goal. The Prague Lions have 3 more timeouts.
Raiders are challenging ruling on a field of the player being down before losing control of the ball. Timeout.
So it took a while until Shuan Fatah found his red flag to throw it. And if those officials are seeing the same pictures that we saw, it will be a fumble and the Raiders will have the ball. Here he still has, there he loses the ball already.
And this is essentially game over right there. I think it's the right call if that's a fumble, and you got to call it a fumble. Jay Henderson trying to stretch the ball out to get everything he has. But this is a fumble, and if they get it, basically just have to run it 3 times, get a first down, and then it's game over.
And the way the run play worked out for the Raiders Tirol, I don't have a doubt that they managed to get a new first down, solely losing their run play.
No. So we did the short, that means that the Prague player had possession of the ball. Yes. No, but can we say that he didn't? I would be inclined to say yes.
I mean, one thing, they got to be very clean about this call. But I think this is as clear as it can get.
Yeah, because this call could essentially end the season of the Prague Lions. And the way Jalen Henderson fought for that fumbled ball shows you that he knew that he lost control of the ball before he hit the ground.
I think it's very clear what happened, but as this is basically the decision for the game, I understand the decision for the entire season for the Prague Lions. I understand why they take so much time and why they want to be extra clear that they saw everything correctly.
So, after further review, the player was not down, the runner was not down before losing possession of the ball. Loose ball was covered by the Raiders at the 2-yard line.
If I understand Stefan Thunberg correctly, he saw the same thing that we saw, that the runner lost control of the ball before he hit the ground, and it's a Raiders ball.
After review, the runner's knee was not down before losing control of the football. Therefore, it is loose ball is recovered by Raiders at the 2-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 from the 2-yard line. Tirol. The game clock will be reset to 2 minutes, 18 seconds.
2 minutes, 18 seconds, and although the Prague Lions still have 3 timeouts left, I strongly have my doubts that they still have a chance to win this one. Look at the face of Jalen Henderson.
And what a big play. I mean, and Jalen Henderson, the tragic hero of the entire story, putting his team on his back, trying to run, trying to stretch his ball out. They're here for a reason. They're here because of him. And for him to fumble that ball, very unfortunate. But they still have a chance because we're not yet in the 2-minute warning. So if the defense holds here, they still have a mini shot if they keep him away from the first down.
One can still feel the tension between these two teams.
This is the 2-minute warning.
Last little break for us, the 2-minute warning. Well, we can see that a couple of Prague Lions fans are not believing anymore. A couple of spectators already leaving the stadium. And one has to be realistic with 2 minutes on the clock and a 41-29 lead for the Raiders Tirol. It is almost impossible for the Prague Lions to turn this thing around.
Yeah, and I mean, I said it, if they have a chance, they need to stop him, but this offense has only been stopped twice to not score a touchdown, I believe. Once was because of an interception. And the other time they shot a field goal. And they've been running the ball pretty well. They've been passing it around, so they really need a wonder here. A miracle here for this game to turn around.
I guess the Raiders Tirol are talking to the heads of the league. They want the regular season to be extended because the Raiders Tirol are really showing some really good football in the last couple of weeks of the season. Well, Piratona already wanted to celebrate. That was a little early.
The first time out, second half.
Prague Lions are stopping the clock again. The only thing that can lead to a miracle here would be a fumble recovered by the Lions or an interception, a quick score, and an onside kick. But I do have my doubts that this is going to happen.
Yeah, a lot of what ifs, right, in this situation. Like, if they stop him, if they then score straight away, if they then get the onside kick. So, again, you still want to keep your chance alive, you want to keep your head up, but you don't think about any of this, what I just said. You just first think about stopping him here on the third down.
3rd and 3, run play by the Raiders, and there is the next first down.
And mathematically, this game isn't over yet, but realistically, this game isn't over, and the Raiders Tirol, I think, kind of won it the right way, because they got the fumble, and then they still had to take matters into their own hands, and that's my favorite thing, my favorite way to win a football game, with the offense out on the field, running out the clock, where everybody knows what you're going to do. You're going to run the ball, you need to run the ball, and you just run it 3 times and get the first down.
Well, if you're James Brooks, what can you tell your players in this timeout other than get the ball?
Yeah, maybe also stay disciplined. It's also one thing. Like you just stay disciplined, stay with your reads. Don't get into any altercations. And just play ball.
A minute 48 seconds left to play here at Bohemian Stadium in the Czech Republic. The Raiders Tirol have the ball and they have the lead. Another run play by number 26, Tim Tonko.
Flag on the play.
Flag.
Holding, offense, number 17. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down. The clock will start on the snap.
So another holding call against the Raiders Tirol. And this is a holding.
Yeah, this is basically holding. I don't think it changes the game plan at all. You just come out, you're going to run the ball 3 times, let the clock run out, and then just let the clock do its work.
That's what they're doing. Run play. Again, Tim Tonko. There is no question who is the man of the match. Lucas Hasselwanter with 4 touchdowns in this game against the Prague Lions. .96 seconds left to play.
Full start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, one has this feeling the Raiders Tirol, they are really afraid to step across this line and finish this game off.
This must have been the longest last 4 minutes of the game.
And again, Kenyatta Allen is almost freaking out there on the quarterback
Offense,
position.
75. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
They're moving, but they're moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
There we see the reaction of Kenyatta Allen.
Rightfully so. Just a thing you can't have.
Now it's 2nd and 17. Tackle for loss. Again, Jan Kils. Clock is ticking. 1 minute to play here in the Czech Republic. And now we need a miracle of Prague for the Lions. There's actually no chance.
by the clock, if our clock's correctly, the ref's clock's correctly, they're just going to let this clock run out. And the Raiders Tirol get the win back. You know, they get the win back that they lost. It was a very, very tight game in the first one. Decided in the last second, got the playoff hopes of the Prague Lions alive. Now it's a different fray, different story, and that's what football is just all about. The Raiders Tirol get the win. They're up to 2 wins now, and their playoff hopes are alive again.
Second week, the Raiders Tirol are playing with Kenyatta Allen on the quarterback position, and the second time they come away with a victory. The Raiders Tirol are still having a tiny little chance to make it to the Big Four tournament. An impressive victory here at the Prague Lions for his team, for Shuan Fatah's team, the Raiders Tirol.
Yeah, congrats to Coach Fatah. You know, he's been talking so much about how young this team is, how much they need to develop, and how this entire season he sees as a development season. And they've been proven to do so. You know, they get better over the last weeks. They got 2 big wins now. They scored over 100 points in the last 2 games. Let that sink in. Over 100 points. That's 15 on average. So they've been doing a great job. And congrats to the Raiders Tirol.
That was it from Joko Pochlik and Jan Weinreich from the Czech Republic. The Raiders Tirol are winning this game against the Prague Lions with a 41-29 score. That was it. Have fun. Keep following the EFA. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, let's go. Back. Yo, once again I'm back around. Real shit back in style. Haters reconcile. I'm so black and proud. First class tickets now. Feet all in the eye. Everybody looking down. Everybody get red when you drown, huh? Look at me, up. I'm putting it down, you picking it up. Checking the models, they want us to go to college just so we can be stuck. Go to school to make a living, or teach yourself to make a fortune. Common sense, welcome to the apocalypse. Bitch, I'm one of the horsemen. I don't need your endorsement, I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa. Have I gone too far? Do you detect something different? If you look inside my head, would you say something's missing? If you could give all your riches just to say the word, would you risk it? These politicians so old, can't tell if they're dead where they living. Better ask Kathy Griffin. You know I like to raise stakes. We was always taught to hit the gas, we ain't even know they made brakes. We control our own fate, watch the dreams take shape. Try to keep us out, we gon' freak out, turn this bitch to water cake. I don't need your mandate, don't need you to elevate. I'm about to detonate, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Said I'm at my prime. We at our prime. Hey, hey, we at our prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Hey, hey, I'm at my prime. Whoa. Said I'm at my prime.